Welcome everybody to the Basement Sports Network Miami Dolphins weekly show here. Listen, we got great vibes over here in Dolphin Land, man. I'm telling you right now, it's great vibes between the Dolphins team, between the Dolphins fan base, and this live stream right here, and everybody in the Basement Sports Network, man. The Miami Dolphins finally did their thing, man. They finally made a move that I'm pretty sure, quite frankly, none of us are used to seeing, and that is a move that basically tells you and tells this whole fan base that we are going all in for this season, and that's something that you just got to be excited about as a Dolphin fan. As you guys know, the Miami Dolphins recently just acquired Bradley Chubb in a deal, so Chris Greer went right to work, sent over a few picks, including our first round pick coming up this season from the San Francisco 49ers. Got you Bradley Chubb in here. What do you guys think, man? How are we feeling? I want to go around the room because this is an exciting time. Bradley Chubb is a big name, and we need to discuss it. So I'm going to start with JMV. What are your thoughts on the trade? I want everything, man. How do you feel? Was it too much? Was it too little? How are you feeling about Bradley Chubb being in Miami?
Well, in terms of the trade for Jeff Wilson was fucking beautiful. But when you talk like that was perfect. But when you talk about the compensation for Bradley Chubb, in terms of the guy you're gonna get on the field, the leader, the player himself, there's no questions about his game. He's definitely a first round pick talent. Your only question is he gonna stay healthy? He's dealt with a share of injuries throughout the past in Denver, but the game of football is a very physical sport. So that's the dice you got to roll, especially if you're trying to win. So I'm happy with the compensation. We got rid of Chase Edmonds. Fucking finally, he cost Tua a touchdown, and I think he has 6 or 7 drops on the year. And I was about done with him. So I'm glad he's gone. But I'm excited, man. I know the four of us and the entire fan base of Miami is super excited, and I'm sure Bradley Chubb himself is very excited to be in a winning culture, which is weird to say, but in a winning culture for the Miami Dolphins.
It definitely is weird to say, but it feels good, man. Like this is finally a time where, quite frankly, we're so used to, making fun of the Dolphins, saying, that's so Dolphins. This is a Dolphins thing to do. It's rare that we see this team literally tell us like, yo, we're going all in. And it's just crazy, man. Like I'm freaking excited, but I want to continue to go around the room so everybody can get their shit
My
off.
agenda the whole year was fuck the past. I've been pushing that in every show, bro. Forget about the past. To see ESPN today talking like a whole fucking 25-minute segment about are the Dolphins a true contender, like a Super Bowl contender, bro, never before seen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it feels damn good. It really
Yeah, it
does.
does.
There's so many times where we want, as fans, we always believe, like we're always optimistic in the beginning of the year, no matter what. But this time it's like, it's actually safe to believe. Like it really is. And it's just amazing. Alex, I want to go to you next, man. How you feeling about this Bradley Chubb edition? Let the world know how you feel, my man.
I'm so fucking hyped up, bro. I'm so hyped up. Like, we won the offseason without having a draft pick. We just won the fucking trade deadline. Chris Greer's coming out here with his cojones, bro, and putting them on the fucking table and saying, we are going for a fucking Super Bowl. Fuck the Chiefs. Fuck the Chargers, who are fake anyway. Fuck Buffalo. Fuck all those teams. We're coming for it. And Tua was talking about it in his press conference today before he threw a little shot at the media, which he deservingly should have done. He said, we're not scared to talk Super Bowl here. And they're clearly not, because Bradley Chubb is a win now move. You got to pay him a contract right when he walks in. But like JMV was saying, we've heard nothing but fantastic things just off the field, besides his ridiculous production when he is healthy. Again, injuries are the only concern with him. He's a leader. He's a winner when he's playing. And all you saw from Broncos players, Broncos reporters, his former teammates, everybody was pissed that he left or sat. One of the two. And that's what you want to see when you're acquiring a player. Gone are the days where we're hyped about fucking Darnell Ellerbe and Mike fucking Wallace and Ndamukong Suh and all this other bullshit. Like, we are going for it right now. When was the last time the Dolphins had this many top 10 players at their respective positions? 2 top 10 wide receivers, a top defensive end / linebacker now, a top corner, a top safety, and a top 10 fucking quarterback. Fuck you if you say otherwise. Stop it. Number 1 in every stat that matters. Greatest RPO quarterback in NFL history. Shut your mouth. And now this is a reality? You let this happen? You let Chris Greer do this? When our number one weakness was that we couldn't rush the fucking passer. That was our kryptonite, that we had to fucking run cover 0. Now we can drop back, rush 4. Josh Allen, you're fucked. Patrick Mahomes, you're fucked. Justin Herbert, you've been fucked. Zach Wilson, you've been fucked. Mac Jones, you're done. Welcome to the new era. This is the Miami Dolphins. Like JMV said, fuck the past. This is new. When was the last time we won an offseason? We won a deadline. When was the last time we were the talk of the town? I've never seen ESPN shows with Jets fans on them like Mike fucking Greenberg, you fraud, going on here saying, oh, the Dolphins look really good. This could be a Super Bowl team. Don't lie to the audience. I'm sorry, Royal. Don't lie to what? What do you mean? I'm not speaking any lies. The only lie that I would be saying is if we were going to lose to the Packers on Christmas.
No, he's right. He's right. Our receivers are top 5.
You're right. I'm sorry. They're both top 5 in the NFL. When was the last time the Dolphins had talent like this? And I'll keep saying this, bro. The type of players that Dolphins have acquired are not just these talented players that they're giving a lot of money to. They are leaders. They are captains. Bradley Chubb, captain. Teron Armstead, captain. Xavien Howard and Javon Holland, already captains on our team. Tyreek Hill, captain. Tua, captain.
Byron Jones.
Who? No. It's a good day, man. It's a good day. It's a good day, JMV. We can't talk about Byron Jones right now. But this, you have, if you just go down the line throughout football history, sorry to keep ranting like this, but just important players. Left tackle, quarterback, receiver, corner, pass rusher. A+ in all of them. Safety, A+. This is ridiculous. This is electric. And I couldn't tell you the last time I was this happy to be a Dolphins fan. I don't think I ever have been this happy to be a Dolphins fan until this season, and especially after the deadline today or yesterday.
I'm right there with you, man. I mean, these moves go from the offseason. Like, you get the best tackle in free agency in Teron Armstead. You go ahead and get a top 2, top 3 wide receiver in the NFL in Tyreek Hill. You got a new coach here, which fits your quarterback. I mean, and now you get this guy. Like, this is just unbelievable, man. I'm freaking just excited as both of you guys are. 416J, I want to drop it to you, man. Bradley Chubb edition. I know you've been honest, man. You've been saying, Greer, pick up the damn phone, and you've been very adamant about that. How do you feel that he picked up the phone and got Bradley Chubb here in aqua and orange?
I love it, man. Again, it's something that I thought, and this is something that I got from hockey, where you see teams and it's like at the deadline, do they deserve to get help? Do they deserve help? Do you deserve to get help? And do you deserve to make the playoffs? Does your general manager really believe in you enough to go all in? And this team deserved it. The last few years, I didn't think we deserved it. We clearly weren't where we are now. This team deserved help. We battled through so many injuries. We battled through so many things that have happened, like losing our first-round pick, all the bullshit that's happened, from the concussion stuff to the off-the-field stuff. There's so much that's happened, and we've still continued to win games. So this team deserved help. And what did Greer do? He rewarded this team for winning games throughout all this adversity. And we bring in a guy who can transform this. This guy's a game wrecker. His only issue is health. That's his only knock, health. Because he was captain on his own team. We talked about how he's a great guy off the field. But this guy is a game wrecker on the field. And I remember in the Bills game, even though we won that game, we could not bring Josh Allen down. Bradley Chubb, if he gets 2 hands on you, you're going down. You're going down. He's a big guy. He's a physical guy. He's a bruiser. Like, this guy is a game wrecker. He can get 2 sacks on any given day on any different offensive lineman. This is a fantastic addition to this team. And it's not just a win now move, even though it is. This guy's only 26 years old, and we're going to have him locked up for 4 to 5 years after this new contract. And he'll be on the team opposite Jaylen Phillips, who's been a great defensive lineman in himself, a great edge rusher in himself. And we have that duo for the next 5 years at a minimum. And it's just a fantastic addition. I love what he did with Jeff Wilson, too, after moving Edmonds out in the deal, who was terrible for us. I thought he was going to be better than he was. Clearly, he wasn't, didn't know the scheme, didn't know the system. Jeff Wilson knows the system, knows the scheme. He'll give you similar production to some of the other guys we could have brought in because he knows the scheme that well. He's still very explosive. He's not as fast as Raheem Mostert, but he's still very, very quick. And he can pass block and pass catch. He's basically giving you what you wanted from Chase Edmonds. He's giving you what you thought you were going to get out of Chase Edmonds. So I'm very happy with the Jeff Wilson pickup. And for a 5th, I think that's a steal. Obviously, after trading for Christian McCaffrey, they had no need for him in San Francisco. And I just think Chris Greer rewarded this team. We didn't bring in secondary help, which is okay. To be honest, I'm still not confident that Byron Jones is coming back, but I'm more confident than before just because we didn't make a move at corner. You'd assume that we might have. Sidney Jones, by the way, is on waivers. I didn't see any news on him if I missed it. We can go pick him up for free. If you want to go pick him up as a free body for the secondary, you can do that too. So maybe it's not over for trade deadline. But, man, those 2 pickups are huge additions to a team that, I'll be honest, I'm okay putting us in the hat. We are a Super Bowl contender after picking up Bradley Chubb. A Super Bowl contender. And I wasn't saying that before this. I wasn't thinking that before this. But the way Tua Tagovailoa is playing and bringing in Bradley Chubb to help out, which is something that has been an underlying issue this whole year, is not having a consistent pass rush outside of Jaylen Phillips. We have not had any pass rush. You bring in, exactly, this is a good point too. Elite pass rush helps out the secondary because they're not covering for as much as they had to in the past. You bring in a player who can help that. And by the way, it was not just a positional need for us. It's also just great positional value. It goes quarterback, tackle, edge. Cornerback probably right after that. Something in that order. Edge rusher is such a valuable position, and you get a guy who you trade a lottery ticket for, a first-round pick for, and you get a guy who's a proven talent who's still young. This isn't a 32-year-old Von Miller or Khalil Mack. This guy's 26 years old, and I know the health is still definitely a concern, but he was going to have something. You're not going to get a young, good player who has no issues. That's not going to happen. That never happens in football. There's going to be something that happened with that. So the fact that we picked up a guy who can do all those things and can be a real game wrecker opposite of Jaylen Phillips will be fantastic. And I think this will help Jaylen Phillips too, because he's been half a step away from a sack I don't know how many times, and the quarterback will just run the other way because there's no pressure coming from that side. You have a guy now who will probably be better than Jaylen Phillips, to be honest with you. He'll probably be better than Jaylen Phillips right now, and he'll be able to get the quarterback as well. So I think it's going to help Jaylen Phillips. It's going to help out the secondary. And, man, I don't know. I think Chris Grier hit it dead on. And I've been a guy who – I'll ask someone else about this, about Chris Grier, but I've been a guy who's been very up and down with Chris Grier. I think he's been very inconsistent over the tenure of his general manager of the Miami Dolphins, as a general manager of the Miami Dolphins. I think he's been very inconsistent, very up and down. Sometimes I love him, sometimes I hate him. Since McDaniel has taken over as head coach, Chris Grier has done fantastic. I've only seen positive moves. The fact that you get a third-round pick for Devontae Parker, fantastic. Trading for Tyreek Hill, signing Sharon Armstead, signing Connor Williams. At the deadline now, trading for Bradley Chubb, trading for Jeff Wilson. This guy's been fantastic. Chris Grier has proven to be a facilitator. He'll do what your head coach wants you to do. That's when Brian Flores was at the helm. He goes out, he pays Emmanuel Ogbah, he pays Byron Jones, he pays Shaq Lawson. Now with McDaniel at the helm, he's bringing in the offensive guys that he needs while still bringing in the defensive guys. So just a fantastic year for Chris Grier. He's probably up there for executive of the year, which is crazy to say. And let's keep this ball rolling, man, because this was a fantastic trade deadline for the Miami Dolphins.
Not to mention, just that we're on the Bradley Chubb train right now. The Dolphins, since 2009, I believe, we've been running more man coverage than anything. Like, we leave our corners on an island, so like the defense this year has been changing. We're running more zone coverage than we have since 2019. And it's a struggle when you're running so much zone and we can't get pressure with four guys. And on top of the fact that our secondary is completely depleted, Bradley Chubb is going to help that tremendously. We can run zone more often. We have an extra body. If we're consistently getting pressure with four guys, that's an extra body we can throw at Stephon Diggs, an extra body we can throw at Deebo Samuel or Christian McCaffrey or George Kittle when we play the 49ers, an extra body we can throw at Travis Kelce when if we play the Chiefs in the playoffs, vice versa. Yeah, it doesn't matter who we play. It's an extra body we can throw at whatever their elite weapon is or whoever we feel is going to hurt us the most.
That's 100% a fact. And the point is, this move right here is going to help Jaylen Phillips. It's going to help Emmanuel Ogbah because, yes, these guys have been close to getting sacks, but they have not been able to wrap some guys up. I mean, I saw a comment here. I saw a comment here by Martina about Emmanuel Ogbah. Listen, Emmanuel Ogbah has been overvalued. Listen, I think we had to pay him at the moment. I think we were all excited to bring him back on this team because he had 9 sacks last year, 9 sacks the year before, but he only has 1 this year. That is definitely disappointing to me, no doubt about it. But I think when you bring in Chubb, it's going to help him, and it's just going to open up the game for Phillips and Ogbah to be able to do their thing. And listen, Bradley Chubb comes in, and he has 5.5 sacks. So this guy hasn't even played a game with the Dolphins, and he is their leader in sacks already. So let's just let that be clear here. Definitely exciting times. Chris Grier is somebody who it's been, some of the fan base loves him. Some of the fan base is iffy. Some of them is, 50-50. But this guy continues to play chess and not checkers out there. It's like every time you think that he's, not going to do anything, he comes in and it's just masterful with the things he does, especially that third overall pick from the 49ers. I mean, what he was able to do with those picks in return, how he was able to maneuver, get you Jaylen Waddle, get you Tyreek Hill out of that, and now get you Bradley Chubb. It's just been unbelievable. I want to go around the room, actually. I want to hear what you guys think about Chris Grier. We got 416's answer. But, Alex, I want to throw this over to you, man. How do you feel about Chris Grier from, as a GM, like where do you stand on him? Not just about the Bradley Chubb thing. You could go a little bit about Jeff Wilson, but entirely, how you feeling about Chris Grier?
So I go back and forth with Chris Grier, but it's time for me to just put a pick aside, and I'm sticking with Chris Grier, bro. This man, like underdog, right here. This comment says, does he sometimes whiff on the draft picks? Does he make every move correctly? Not necessarily, right? The Ogba contract, that's not looking great right now. Byron Jones's contract, right? But at the end of the day, this man has cojones, bro. This man says, fuck the haters. I know you have wanted me gone for 4 years. Here's Tyreek Hill. Oh, you thought I was done? Here's Teron Armstead. Oh, you thought I was done? Here's Bradley Chubb. Bro, this man pulled off the greatest trade in NFL history when he traded Laramie Tunsil, bro. There needs to be something in the NFL Hall of Fame. There needs to be a plaque. There needs to be a shrine. I don't care if you put the gas mask that Tunsil was smoking out of in liquid gold and make that its own fucking statue. But there needs to be something, bro, because that was quite literally a franchise-changing moment. If you give GMs those many draft picks, I don't know if anyone would have walked away with a better takeaway than Chris Grier did. You could give it to the best GMs in the world, the Rams GM, Les Snead. You can give it to Harry Rosen, who's been fantastic in Philadelphia, obviously. You can give it to whoever, Bill Belichick, whatever, New England fans, your favorite fucking GM who's absolutely trash. He cannot do as well as Chris Grier did on this return. To turn that Tunsil trade into the San Francisco trade and walk away with two top five receivers in the National Football League, plus Bradley Chubb. And yes, you don't have as many draft picks out, as other teams, but you're not walking into the draft and getting nobody. You're still going to walk away with a decent rookie class, and that's where Chris Grier has been able to nail draft picks 2 through 4. Has been fantastic for him. Second, third, and fourth round has been a lot better than the end of the first round. And this is what we've been looking for from the Dolphins, man. Chris Grier just to be like, lean into what you're good at. You don't have to be the greatest talent of value in the world. But if you're a fucking master negotiator and you're taking teams as best defensive players for a first-round pick that you were going to whiff on anyway, like, bro, you can only be happy with this. And if Chris Grier is going to continue to do things like this, which I have no reason to believe, not to believe, because Mike McDaniel's an aggressive guy. They want veterans. And again, I think this is just a shift. Like under Flores, under some of these other guys, I think it was more about development and being cheap and, doing whatever it takes to, kind of develop some of these guys, which was a fantastic strategy. But Mike McDaniel wants guys who are fucking talented, who know the system and can execute right now. They want to win every single football game. They don't want to be built just for now, but for the future. I mean, I can't be mad at Chris Grier, bro. And he's whiffed. Austin Jackson, whiff. Noah Iganagami, whiff. Charles Harris, whiff. But you can't whiff, bro, if you trade those picks for Bradley Chubb. So fuck it. Like, I think he killed it. I'll touch quickly on the Jeff Wilson thing. I mean, for a fifth-round pick, that's a steal, bro. I mean, that's nothing. This man was on pace for damn near 1,000-yard season. He's 6 feet tall, can catch, can run a lot of routes, considering he's a running back, especially in the slot. And again, he's a violent runner. He goes north and south when he has to. He's not as explosive as Raheem Mostert, but that dude will lay the boom. He'll lower his fucking shoulder. You better get out of his way or he's going to run through you. Like, I love the pickup for a fifth-round pick. Absolutely nothing. I mean, this is ridiculous. What they've done. I mean, the offensive talent for Mike McDaniel with all the crazy shit he's running. Pray for defenses. Pray for your favorite team's linebackers don't have a chance, bro. I can't. Like, they are in disarray. They are lost. You cannot. It's impossible right now, and we're just getting better. Like, it's fantastic. Chris Grier, A++++, whatever. And bro, I will keep skipping out on the draft and not watch day one if you continue to make these masterclass fucking moves.
He's been doing it, man. The only thing I have on him is that his ability to just draft these offensive linemen. That's the only thing. He just struggled with O-line. Everything else, I got no complaints. You know what? Let me give credit where credit is due.
I'm not trying. Nah, I'm playing with you though.
No, but Robert Hunt though is solid. That's the only one though. That's the only one, man. Robert Hunt is solid. JMV, how you feeling about Chris Grier overall, and how you feeling about Jeff Wilson? I actually saw, I don't know if this is correct, but that he's averaging 5.1 yards per carry this season. Hey, that's big time. That's a plug-and-play guy that knows the system. JMV, how you feeling about Grier and Jeff Wilson in particular?
Well, I love the Jeff Wilson acquisition. I honestly was a little more on board with Kareem Hunt, but Jeff Wilson is perfect for the value. It was perfect. No complaints. He knows the system. Chris Grier, I've been somebody. I actually don't hold, and I know one of you guys mentioned the Charles Harris stuff. I don't hold those trades against, those picks against Chris Grier. I feel like, he was just a voice in the draft room at that point. So, like, for me, I've started judging Chris Grier since this man took over in 2018 or 2019. His first pick was Christian Wilkins, who is a solid defensive lineman. Like, he's actually one of the best, in my opinion. Very underrated, and he's going to get a bag. But yes, the draft is a 50-50 thing. Honestly, if you're hitting 50% of the time, you're actually doing a very good job. It's a little less than that. But I think he's done a phenomenal job of turning this franchise around, where you just go through our starters on both sides of the ball and look who was drafted by the Dolphins on both sides of the ball. Like, you just start going down the list from Tua to Waddle to Gesicki to Robert Hunt, and then you jump over to defense, Raekwon Davis, Christian Wilkins, Jerome Baker, Xavien Howard, the list goes on, Javon Holland. I think he's done a good job. Every GM, as somebody mentioned, misses, but every time Chris Grier misses, this man comes out and he fixes that miss. And that's something I can appreciate. Every time he misses, there's a problem, he'll come out and he'll fix it. He'll address it. Sometimes it takes a little longer than I would like, but he gets it done. Better late than never.
Hey, Alex, you want to say something?
I just want to add this. Not many GMs do what Chris Grier did with Chase Edmonds. Not many GMs admit halfway through a season, after that was the first move they made, pretty much at whatever. If it started at 4 o'clock, it was like 4:01. Chase Edmonds is a Dolphin. Like, not many GMs come out and just admit that was a complete fucking whiff and it was a mistake.
Yep.
And move on. And no GMs not only profited off a mistake.
He has been very stubborn, though. I will say props him for not being stubborn with Edmonds, but he's been stubborn with guys like Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson. So I'm giving him credit, but give him credit now. Yeah, you're right. Maybe he's matured a little bit from that time.
Yeah, because, I mean, there are a lot of guys who just sit on a roster for a whole year and then they play again next year and it's, whatever. But for him to do that and work his way into the Chubb trade, because I know I was wondering, how are they going to free up the space? How are they going to free up the spot? I was thinking guys like Eric Rowe, I don't know, maybe even like Mike Gesicki. I know some people were wondering if he was going to get traded. But to do it for Chase Edmonds, Cedric Wilson, right? Chase Edmonds, who led the league in drops and was very much struggling with the system, to come out with it with a running back who knows the system. And again, Mike McDaniel said he won't play, who knows how much they'll play. I bet Wilson plays a decent amount on Sunday. It's not much different to what he's doing right now or what he was doing, I should say, in San Francisco.
Yeah, and I think, like Jay said, he's going to give you exactly what you expected Chase Edmonds to give you, and probably much more than he gave. Obviously, well, way much more, I expect. That's for sure. And I want to go into this conversation. Listen, we might get judged for it, but I feel like I have to. So I'm sorry. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, man. I'm about to have this conversation. I want to go around the whole room. Listen, the fact is that games that Tua has started and finished this season, he's 5-0. Okay. We have upgraded this team. We have Tyreek Hill on pace to break a 2,000-yard receiving season and Calvin Johnson's receiving record. Okay. We have two of the top wide receivers in the NFL, the best duo in the NFL, in my opinion.
In history?
I mean that. I mean when I say that, man. And Teron Armstead, we know what he's about. Listen, now you make these moves. You add a Bradley Chubb to this team. Xavien Howard's already on this team. Jaylen Phillips, Javon Holland, these guys are young stars rising and just getting better game in and game out. Could you imagine if we had our so-called leader out there, opposite X-Man? This team would be arguably, like, you can just say a Super Bowl contender. And that's what I want to get to right now. We have made these big-time moves, and this team that's already taken the field has shown that they can compete with the top teams in the AFC. And the only reason why we're 5-3 right now and we could be having a way better record is because Tua went down with an injury. So I want to have this conversation, man. Now that we made these moves that we made, getting Chubb, getting Wilson, where do you rank this Miami Dolphins team in the AFC? Is it fair to say the Dolphins are a contender? And who are the teams that are above in the AFC? I'm going to throw this to 416J.
I only think we're behind the Chiefs and the Bills as of right now. I know that seems crazy to say, but I think we are right there. We're right there behind those two teams. Obviously, the Bills are on our stratosphere. I think we've closed the gap significantly with the Chiefs. I think we're right there, man, especially bringing in Bradley Chubb to fix one of our biggest holes on the entire team. And I don't know. I think it goes Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and after that, you can make an argument for Tua Tagovailoa over any of the rest of the quarterbacks, Herbert, Burrow, Lamar. Maybe he loses some of those arguments, maybe you win some of those arguments, but he's right there. He's right there, and there's an argument that can be made for him. So I think we're right below that Chiefs and Bills team in the AFC, because I just think adding Bradley Chubb could be a a game changer. I'm trying to think of a better word, but like he can really change the way this defense plays. I know that seems crazy, but when you have a pass rusher of this caliber, he can really change what you can do on the field and maybe get some pressure only rushing forward, which we haven't been able to do since I don't know how long. I actually can't remember the last time we could generate pressure with only rushing 4. So the fact that he might help us do that, I really think that we're up there. I think we're a Super Bowl contender. I know it seems crazy to say, and I'm trying to even calm down like with what my expectations are. My expectation isn't a Super Bowl, obviously, but I just think we are a contender, and I do think that we should win a playoff game this year. Based on this roster, based on the fact that we traded our first-round pick to go all in on this team, I think it's a great thing that we're right there, and let's go win a playoff game, man. It's been too long. It's been so long. Let's go win a playoff game, and I think we're right there. The only teams that rank above us
Our entire
are the
lives.
Chiefs and the Bills. Yep.
None of us have seen one.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I just wanted to make sure like somebody else kind of agrees with me. And I know we're Dolphin fans and we don't want to just say, we're going to win the Super Bowl. We want to, pump our brakes and be as extra cautious. But honestly, I really feel like the conversation just has to be had, man. This team has proven to you, this organization, this GM has proven to you, like it's safe to have a conversation. I don't think it's out of this world to say that we are a top 3 team in the AFC. And listen, if Byron Jones was completely healthy and our defense is completely healthy, I stand on that 100%. Like I don't put anybody, only the Bills and the Chiefs, I can argue are better than us. If we're completely healthy, but now that we're not, we're still waiting to see the status of Byron Jones going to come back or not. So I thought it was very important just to go around the room. So Jay and I are feeling the same exact way. I think this team is ranked 3rd in the AFC. And listen, other people might disagree, but I like our chances against every single other team. Just Buffalo and KC are the only 2 teams.
And we can win it on any given Sunday. We've proven that we can win games 42-38 against the Ravens or 21-19 against the Bills. We prove we can win either way, and we've also proven we can beat those teams. Now, I'm not saying that we'd be favored or anything like that, but you're saying, oh, I wouldn't take our chances with them, obviously. But I still think we're right there, and depending on the day, we could be one of those 2 teams. So, for sure, man, I agree.
For sure, JMV, how you feeling about this team now? Where are you considering them a top 3 team in the AFC following all these moves?
I think we should all be considering the Dolphins as a top 3 team in the AFC. The way I have it looked, it's like tiers. So like tier 1 is Buffalo by themselves. I don't think the Dolphins are close to them yet. I don't think Kansas City's close to them yet. I think we've closed in the gap to get to Buffalo. I think that week 3 or week 2 game against Buffalo, I think that was a fluke. I don't think that's the team, like that Buffalo team you saw, that was a gift from God. We played a completely depleted defensive, team for the Buffalo Bills. I know they don't have Micah Hyde for the rest of the year. They still got Jordan Poyer. They're adding Tre'Davious White back to that team now. He just got activated. You got Von Miller, you got Matt Milano, you got Russo, you got Ed Oliver. Bro, that defense is stacked from top to bottom. The rookies are playing well for rookie cornerbacks. Both of them, the 1st-round pick and the 6th-round pick, they're both playing well. I think Buffalo's on a tier of their own. So, and then when you get to the 2nd tier, I got Kansas City and Miami. I actually have Miami a step ahead of Kansas City. They got Patrick Mahomes. But when you put both these teams on paper, I like the Dolphins team better than the Chiefs team. But for me, it's like 2A, 2B. Like they're right there. When it comes to the playoffs, any team can win on any given Sunday. You saw Cincinnati last year, who was not the best team in the AFC, get all the way to the Super Bowl. And they had the more favorable schedule. Thankfully, they had Kansas City and Buffalo had to kill each other in the playoffs. They didn't have to go through both of them. So in the playoffs, anything can happen. So, yeah, if we're Super Bowl contenders, if you're a top 3 team in the AFC, yes, you have to be Super Bowl contenders. I think our offense can score with the best of them, but Buffalo scares me. Like, not to what it was before, but I have my respect for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I feel the same way 100%. Buffalo is no joke, especially when they're completely healthy.
We got 5 weeks, and we got a real test in December 13th, I believe, in Buffalo.
Definitely.
That'll tell you where this team is exactly at. This team has still have yet to play a complete game on both sides of the ball. Our special teams has been atrocious every single week. We haven't been able to add anything, from our special teams, whether it be a turnover, like, we punt the ball and we get it back or whatever it be, or a kick return or punt return giving us good field position. That shit just doesn't happen. Like, our special teams has been ass, and there's been no complimentary football. The Detroit was one on the offensive side, and I give Josh Boyer his credit for as much as we all, rank on him and love to throw shade at him for his second half adjustments. Like, there's got to be credit given to him. in terms of that. And it's not just been one game against the Lions. He did it against Pittsburgh. He did it against the Bills. It's been multiple games already that he's had good second half adjustments. So his props are deserved. But in 5 weeks, we'll see where this team is at.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to that comment by Ed. We are a top 3 team with Tua. Without him, we are not. That is definitely factual. 100%. Ain't nobody arguing that here. We are all very pro Tua right here. I expect this Dolphins team. Honestly, I don't expect a win against Buffalo and Buffalo. I expect us to split that, but I definitely think it's a huge test. I want to see how we perform. That's one thing I'm looking at, not to get smoked, like see the adjustments we made, see if we can compete with them, see where we are, because, hey, we're probably going to see them down the line in the playoffs. And if you're split 1-1 and you got a lot of things to learn from, I definitely like our chances if there is going to be a round 3 at some point in the playoffs in January.
And how the team is going to face adversity against the Bills. If you fall behind early,
yes.
And the history of how we've faced, Buffalo over the past, ever since Josh Allen was drafted, honestly, like it is what it is. Ever since Josh Allen was drafted, our history of Buffalo, if we get down early, how we're going to react to that and how we're going to come out on the next drive, or if we have a turnover, how we're going to, come back after that. That's very important when we're playing that team because, mentally, it is a part of the sport.
For sure. And I see a comment just rolled in here by Martina. Says we have to start winning a bad weather game, I'm assuming here, away from home against the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I believe we can, but we still have to show it. I think that's fair. That's fair. We do have to do a better job at winning cold weather games, especially Tua. You have nightmares about the game in Tennessee with the weather and all that. I do believe that remains to be seen, and that's fair enough. We do have to prove it, but I definitely do. I'm on her side saying I believe we can. I definitely think we can.
Yep.
Alex, this team as a contender in the AFC, is that real or not? Super Bowl contender, where are you ranking the Dolphins following all these moves?
So, in all honesty, I probably rank them 2, but on their best day, they're 1, and it's because of their offense. When this offense is at its best, it is mathematically impossible for you to stop. There's no scheme you can do. There's no player you can throw out there to stop this offense when it's rolling. And this is what it looks like when it's rolling, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when a top 10 quarterback in the NFL gets 2 top 5 receivers and a top 5 offensive mind in the game. Your linebackers are lost. They don't know where they are. They need a map. The cornerbacks are getting burnt on the back end, and Tua's manipulating the pocket and making decisions faster before you can even decide if it's a run or a pass. This team, when they're playing at their best, is unstoppable. Mike McDaniel, in terms of run concept, in terms of route concept for the receivers, in terms of the RPO game, having guards pull on play action passes, these dudes don't know where to go on defense. Tua is making decisions ridiculously quick. It's insane. His processing has to be among the top in the NFL. His accuracy is among the top in the NFL. And no, Colin Cowherd, he doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, but he's smarter than your favorite quarterback, and he makes a quicker decision than your favorite quarterback, and he wins a ton more games than your favorite quarterback. When this team's at their best, and we saw it against Detroit, we saw it against Baltimore, you literally cannot do anything. And after the Baltimore game, everybody said, look at the secondary. Go look at the numbers. How has Baltimore done against some of these other top quarterbacks? They're not throwing for 6 touchdowns and over 400 yards. They're not. Just look at it. And at the tape right now, Mike McDaniel's so far in his bag, he's drowning in it. It's ridiculous. I don't know how you're supposed to stop these concepts, man. You have to, like, Trent Sherfield is having a career year. River Craycraft looks like an actual NFL receiver. Like, this is ridiculous. You cannot stop this. And Jaylen Waddle is a menace. And when Tua is accurate, it's more than even accuracy, it's the timing of everything that Tua has been doing. You just got to sit back and hope that the Dolphins fuck up. The only thing that stops this offense is themselves, in my opinion. The penalties, the illegal stuff downfield when timing and rhythm is off, like we kind of saw in the Pittsburgh game. But, like, even then, you can find ways to win because of the defense. Again, my biggest issue was this pass rush. And I think we can get after the quarterback now. I'd probably put Buffalo ahead of us if both teams were playing at their absolute best because of where they're at and because of the experience, obviously, that they have in the playoffs that we won't have. But again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we can't fucking beat them because we did.
Oh, we can beat them, but I still got to put them ahead.
I'm not ruling out the best receiver in the National Football League. Why are we not talking about this enough? This man is going to break the record. Stop the nonsense. If this was happening in Kansas City, you'd lead every story with it. that this is the greatest receiving season any wide receiver has ever had. He's having it. And the dude next to him's going to go for 1.5. Better than your favorite fucking receiver. So it's wraps. There's nothing you can do. Our number one weakness was Chase Edmonds was dropping the ball. No problem. Replacement. And he's fucking better. What's our next problem? Oh, shit. Jaylen Phillips, he's not getting to the quarterback. He's getting double teamed. No problem. What? Fuck getting somebody good next to him. Let's get an upgrade, Bradley Chubb. Like, you're not stopping this. Now Mike Gesicki's getting hot in the red zone. I mean, that red zone, I hate to keep ranting here, but like that touchdown to Gesicki, Tua went through 3 different reads in about 0.2 seconds. Before the linebacker even put his fucking mouth guard in, it was a touchdown. It is absolutely wraps. Matt Milano, you're next.
Mike was the 4th read in that play.
Boom, 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 done. See
Yeah.
you. Touchdown. And he doesn't care. Tua goes to the meet. Oh, we're good. We're locked in. We're not scared to talk about Super Bowls here because this team knows what they got. You saw Tyreek Hill with the maniacal laugh on the Twitch stream. This team knows. It's not a secret. We'll see you in Buffalo. I don't know if we'll win, but like I'm telling you, man, this team can go with anybody. At worst, this is the 3rd best team in the AFC. If you think Baltimore's better than this team, you're lying to yourself. If you think any team from the AFC West besides Kansas City is better than this team, you're lying to yourself. The Jets are fake and they're fraudulent, and the Patriots stink. So give me us over Cincinnati too. Like, we are 100% one of the best teams in the NFL. And I'm telling you, even if you don't win this division, if Buffalo wins it, we are the last wild card team you want to play. You don't want to play us because it can be a tie game late in the game and Tyreek Hill's taking it to the house and you just lost and your season's over. You don't want to face an efficient quarterback like this. And I'm just going to read some stats. Quarterbacks with 10-plus yard completions in the middle of the field. Tom Brady's got 16. That's a high number. Lamar Jackson's got 16. Pretty good. Joe Burrow, almost Super Bowl winning quarterback, 16. Pretty good. Jimmy Garoppolo, pretty good. Josh Allen, pretty good. How does Tua have double all that shit with -3 games? Can someone explain that to me? Number 1 in QBR. Is that an important stat? Can somebody let me know? Is quarterback rating a good stat? Is it a good thing to lead the league in? I think so. Yards per attempt. Is that a good thing to lead the league in? People can let me know in the comments and debate that.
Nah, bro, he should be checking down. Like, what?
But the way this man's playing right now, the way Mike McDaniel is scheming right now.
When was the last time Tua had a check down?
No, seriously, I don't even remember. Like,
I don't remember this entire year Tua having a check down.
But I'm just telling y'all, at our absolute best, I think we're 1 because I think this is the best offense in the NFL when they're playing at their best.
I definitely agree with that. And also like the 3rd down passer rating also by Tua. I think he's top in the league in that as well. I mean, this is what you want from a quarterback. I don't care about, oh my God, 400 passing yards every single game, touchdowns while throwing all these interceptions. I care about winning, number 1. And that's what Tua is doing for his whole career since he's been here. Something we're not used to as Dolphin fans, but now we're starting to get used to it. And then money plays, 3rd down plays, like being able to be efficient. I mean, his development is fucking awesome, man. It really is.
His 3rd down efficiency this year is like at a historic rate.
Yeah.
His passer rating would be the 15th best passer rating in NFL history if it finishes at where it's at right now. His QBR would be the 18th best QBR in NFL history if it were to finish where it is right now. And it could go up or down. It's probably going to trend up in these next 3 weeks.
Absolutely. Right. We're playing Chicago, Cleveland, and the Texans.
Yep.
Which, not good teams, even though Joe Burrow made that defense look pretty good.
And the Chargers are going to give us our plays. The Chargers defense is not good.
No. And Tua on 3rd down this year, just because, Nando, you brought it up, not only is it number 1 in the NFL this year, it's number 1 in NFL history. Highest passer rating on 3rd down in the NFL since it was counted in 1991. 2022 Tua, we're comparing him to 1994 Steve Young and 1999 Kurt Warner and 2009 Aaron Rodgers. Is that good? People can let me know because I was told Mac Jones was better. I was told Zach Wilson was better. I was told we needed Deshaun Watson. I was told we should trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. I was told all this fucking bullshit. And now you're going to have to watch those guys. They're going to be watching Tua in January. They might even be watching Tua in fucking February if you let this man get hot. I'm going to pull up the spaghetti chart just one more time because I just like looking at images of perfection. And that's what the fuck this is. You see a whole lot of green. You see a whole lot of veggies on this man's fucking plate. You're not coming out near us, bro, when this man is playing like this. It's a joke. I'm getting lit up right now, text message-wise, because people are so thinking about the Dolphins right now, bro.
This is freaking amazing. Put up that last comment. I think we got a donation here at the program. There we go. Jose A. Lucas, shout out to you with a $2 donation. Says, nah, I got goosebumps. Let's go, Tua. Shout out to you, Jose. Thank you for the dono.
Appreciate
Listen, it is amazing. Like Tua's development this year. Confident Tua is an amazing Tua. And you know what's crazy? That's actually what his trainer said. I remember I saw a clip in the offseason. They're like, yo, a confident, I think he said something along the line, a confident Tua is like is a Super Bowl contender. And he's really looking like, hey, man, if he didn't get hurt at all, yo, he'd probably be top 3, if not leading in MVP. Like that.
Nah, he would be one. He would be number one. He'd be number one in passing yards. He'd be number one in touchdowns. He'd be number one across the boards if the Spans did not get hurt.
That is amazing, man. Like you're just, we've heard so many Tua doubters. I've had my share where I doubted him a little bit, but there's been so many people that just are just ridiculous, and they're shutting them up like quietly, man. There's so many people that were, on my phone talking so much shit about Tua, and they're just talking less and less. They're kind of going off. They're not giving him praise, but they're really, really quiet. I also had a guy tell me, hey, I'm going to have to put my boy on the spot. He told me that Zach Wilson was better than Tua. How's that looking now? I'm just
How
saying.
many games does Justin Herbert win again? How many games? Why is nobody –
Wait. Why does Tua Tagovailoa have the same amount of touchdowns as Justin Herbert, but he's played 3 less games and he has 1 less interception? You tell me why.
Oh, they don't want to hear it.
Why have the ESPN shows stopped leading their shows with Herbert for MVP? Why did that go away?
We crowned him. They crowned him way too early. These guys won shit. They won shit.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't want.
No, and it's so funny to see them talk about, dude, our OC, dude, our offensive line, dude, our wide receivers. One, you still have Austin Eckler and Mike Williams. Your offensive line's been back. Like Corey Linsley has been back without Rashawn Slater. But even all those things, ours was still worse last 2 years. It was still worse. Not to mention, you have an OC in Joe Lombardi. We had 2 guys who weren't even OCs, dude. We just named them 2 co-offensive coordinators, 2 positional coaches, and we said, fuck it. Like, try your best, dude. Like, go after, like, let's see it. And we had no idea who he was even
We had 3 Nathaniel Hackett's offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Charlie Cloud is in there too. Yeah. Terrible.
This is great. Well, we do have to touch on our game this weekend.
Did any of you guys, before we get to that, did any of you guys, that Waddle lob touchdown, I think it was like a 39. Bro, Tua was releasing that bitch before Waddle made his break.
Insanity.
Like, Tua was getting ready to release that ball. Waddle still had 2 DBs in front of him.
It was insane.
That was
anticipation, his accuracy, his pocket presence. When people ask, what does Tua do that's elite? And I've said this on other shows. The thing with Tua is that because he doesn't have the biggest arm, the highlights, like you'll see the throw to the Gesicki, let's say, for example, in this Lions game. You'll see that on a highlight. You'll watch the Dolphins versus Lions highlights, as like a lot of people do. They'll watch the full game and they'll watch the highlights and they'll be like, oh, that's an easy show. Like Tua just made a very easy throw. Cool, let's move on. They won't give it a second glance. Then when you watch it, he's throwing where the ball's going an inch over Malcolm Rodriguez, the linebacker, and it's an absolute dime to Mike Gesicki. And like you said, all these throws that are thrown with anticipation, they're not going to be getting on the highlight tape. They're not going to be shown on SportsCenter. So because of that, because of the way that people show Tua Tagovailoa highlights, and because he's left-handed, genuinely that's a thing. Because he's left-handed, people don't see him the same as they see other quarterbacks. Even though this guy's playing so efficient, so effective, he beat the Bills, put up 3 touchdowns, having the ball for 20 minutes. He had the ball for 20 minutes. Like, it's ridiculous. The things that this guy's doing is fantastic. He's proven that we can win games because of him. The Ravens game, the Lions game. He's pretty much shut down every single thing that you could say about him in the past. The deep ball, the action, whatever. Other than the fact that he needs to stay healthy. That's my only concern. On the field, I have 0 concern. Zero, nada. I have no concerns about Tua Tagovailoa at all. He's an elite quarterback. My only thing with him now is stay on the field, stay healthy.
Yep. He's developing at a very, very nice rate, and I have no complaints at all. A few mistakes here and there. Listen, he's a human being at the end of the day. Mistakes are going to happen, but the way he's progressing this early on in his career, like it's beautiful to watch, honestly. And we're going to have to talk about the Bears. Obviously, we're a little bit, we're just all excited as Dolphin fans. So we know that we play the Bears this weekend, and we have yet another huge injury list. A lot of people did not participate. A lot of people are limited. And when you talk about the Dolphins, you talk about injuries. That's a perfect time to talk about our sponsor, and that is about Simple Health Advisors Insurance. Listen, insurance does not need to be complicated at all. Please email them or give them a call today. Email my guy, jpo at simplehealthadvisors.com or give them a call at 321-345-7738 and let them know that the basement sent you. Listen, the injury list is really, really long. To go through it, I mean, listen, you guys know what it's about. I mean, it's always something that's just that's what this team is. It's just every single week. It's just a huge injury report. But I want to talk about one particular guy, and that's Austin Jackson. Obviously, Shell's been playing pretty good. I kind of want to know where you stand. I know, Jay, you've been you pay attention to the offensive line. Yeah, and you've been adamant about this. I want to know where do you stand right now with Austin Jackson coming back? Like, what do you do with Shell playing good? Like, do you bench him, or do you put him back at guard even though he played like terrible, or do you have him off the bench if somebody gets hurt? Where do you stand with Austin Jackson?
Well, right now with Eichenberg out, I don't think Austin Jackson is even playing against the Bears anyways. I think McDaniel's already pretty much said he's not going to play. Mm-hmm. But going forward after that with Eichenberg out, I probably would play him at left guard. Brandon Shell has just been so solid at right tackle, at the blind side. It just doesn't really make sense to take him out of that spot. So I would actually put Austin Jackson at left guard. I know he struggled there, but now between Tron Armstead and Connor Williams, that should help him out as well. And he actually looked better at left guard than left tackle, I thought, at times. So just because it's not as much pressure on you to be a single one on these like big edge rushers, these crazy edge rushers, you can have some help on the inside. So I personally play him at left guard. Robert Jones didn't look all too bad at left guard either. So that's something to keep in mind, but I still would put Austin Jackson there. So I'd have it Tron Armstead, Austin Jackson, Connor Williams, Robert Hunt, and then Brandon Shaw. He's just been too solid. He's been too good at right tackle to have a guy come in there and take his job, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to say he's been fantastic, a top 10 tackler or anything like that, but he just played really, really well and really, really solidly, especially for who he is and what he's done. I think it wasn't a high bar to pass when you're talking about guys like Austin Jackson and Jesse Davis in the past. It's not a high bar to set, so I guess my expectations have been lowered rather significantly, but even with that being said, I think he's been the best option we've had at right tackle in a long, long time.
Yeah, I think he's been solid, and you got to just take that. If some guy is showing you any signs of positivity for this Dolphins offensive line, like you just gotta you gotta just keep it right there. Just keep it right there. We'll take it. We're grateful at that. So I'd agree with you on that. Shout out to Ant. Our guy Ant says leaving a like for Bradley Chubb and smooth transition. Definitely, a lot of you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure we are hitting those like buttons. That helped us out tremendously. We appreciate you, as you guys know. Talking more about the Bears, JMV, I know you have been watching the Bears. You are a Justin Fields guy. You've paid close attention to the Chicago Bears in particular. We're set to play these guys on the road in Chicago. It's a 1 p.m. game. How are you feeling about this matchup? What do we need to look forward to? What should we watch out for that should concern this Miami Dolphins team Sunday against Chicago?
Well, in terms of the matchup, there should be an ass whooping in the making. Chicago, they just gave up Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith. Like they're gonna have no pressure against Tua, and this guy's gonna have all day back there to throw the ball. So in terms of that, I mean, they have a nice secondary with Brisker and Eddie Jackson and Jaylen Johnson, but aside from that, the rest of the team is ass. Actually, Gordon is developing nice. The rest of the team is ass. So it should be an ass whooping in the making. In terms of what they're going to do on offense, a lot of inside and outside zone runs. There's going to be a lot of play action. They're going to roll Justin Fields out. They're going to have a lot of those tight end screens where they run 2 tight end sets and they have a tight end blocking them. It's usually Cole Kmet that's the one on the receiving end of that. So they're going to play it's going to be a lot of running, bro. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears run that ball 35 times in that game minimum. They're going to run the ball a lot. Justin Fields is going to have a lot of RPOs, and he's going to take off as well. And we know how the Dolphins have been against running quarterbacks in the past. So he's going to get his stats. The Bears are going to score some points. We'll see if we can get pressure on Justin Fields. That offensive line is very bad, bro. Chicago's going to get Justin Fields killed. That man takes shots week in and week out. It's not just 1 or 2 shots, bro. He's taking multiples. But in the last 5 weeks, they've been rolling him out much more, give him more time to go through his progressions and take less hits. But in terms of the matchups, bro, I don't think this game's going to be close. It shouldn't be. I mean, you just saw Dallas put, 49 on their heads? Yeah, this game should not be close. The Dolphins should win by 2 scores minimum. But, we'll see how it goes on Sunday and how that injury list, who's actually going to play and who's not. I don't think Austin Jackson's going to play. And I'm eager to see how Robert Jones, the other Robert, how he plays at left guard. I'm actually very interested in seeing how he plays at left guard as a starter because he's shown flashes of competence and he's played everywhere in that offensive line. And it doesn't matter where we put him, he's shown competence. So I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, this is an interesting stat I saw on the Bears offense. They're last in passing yards, but number one in rushing yards. Like that is like literally first and last in the other stat. That's pretty crazy.
A lot of running. The last 5 weeks, though, the very last 5 weeks since Chicago implemented, they changed their scheme a bit around. Justin has had I think it's give or take a little less than 1,000 yards, 5 tutties, 2 picks, and he's completing like 62% of his passes or something like that. A lot of mistake-free football. One of those 2 picks was a batted ball against the Commanders. So they've been progressing. Justin's been progressing, but that team is just bad on paper. On the field, it's a bad product in general. So I know they got an addition of Chase Claypool. Not sure if he's going to play this week. Not sure how much he's going to play.
We already
got to learn the playbook in 4 or 5 days, but.
It should be an interesting matchup. I mean, from a talent perspective, like we are way ahead of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, a team that's first in rushing and last in passing, that seems like a little interesting one we got here on Sunday. Alex,
we're 6 on run defense ourselves.
Oh shit!
And we added Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, we're 6 in run defense, and nobody has rushed for 100 yards against us yet this year. At least not that I remember.
Shout out Raekwon Davis though.
Is he healthy this week? He got hurt last week.
The way that injury report is, man, it was too
No, I
long.
think so. The thing is, on Wednesdays we have so many guys getting vet rest. It looks like a lot, but I actually don't think it's that bad this week.
It starts to trim down. So we'll keep an eye on that. We're definitely gonna need him for sure. Him and Wilkins, gonna be ready to go. Those are my X factors. Alex, keys to victory against Chicago. Are you worried at all, if anything? And what are the keys to victory? What do the Miami Dolphins have to do to be successful and get a win?
Let Chicago be Chicago and fuck up. I mean, just straight up. Like this team will find ways to lose, and they've been better recently. But then they traded Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn, so they're going to have a really tough time with our system. JMV did mention their secondary, which is improving. But again, the way the Dolphins defense attacks linebackers, this was not the week to lose Roquan Smith, man. Like it's just, and I know they had to trade him. Like obviously, I'm not saying they shouldn't have. They were never going to pay him that money, and they actually got some pretty decent value, especially back from Baltimore, sent him the AFC and everything. But like this is just not the week to try to see if some guy can actually start for you or not. I expect a big day from the offense. I do think that the defense could get caught. Yes, we're good in run defense, and we've given up some big runs. Dalvin Cook had a decent game. Like the Jets, obviously, we all know how that game went. Just don't overestimate them. If the Dolphins come in and don't play down to their opponent, we should blow them out. We should win by 2 scores. But the Dolphins do have a habit. Again, we won the Lions game, but they were down 14-0. Like we were all thinking at one point, like, are you serious? Like, don't do this, like things like that. I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen because I don't think it will. I think we will end up winning this game relatively comfortably. But I wouldn't be surprised if it takes the Dolphins defense to settle in a little bit.
Did we ever punt the ball against Detroit?
I think maybe once. No, we didn't.
I think it was just a fumble, and then the very last possession it was to kill the clock. I don't think we ever punted.
Insane. And it should be similar for the offense this week. I know the secondary is decent.
Wait, did I say that on this show? It might have been a different show, but I literally said, because someone brought up Thomas Morstead, and I was like, we're not punting. Don't worry. Against the Lions. It might have been a different show, though. But I said that literally, so that's nice to know.
Yeah, it was awesome. I don't think we did punt.
I don't think we punted, bro. It was the Braylon Sanders fumble.
And then
we went for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
There you go.
But if we stop the run from the jump, Chicago's got no chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the Dolphins come out here and they can't run, like if Raekwon's got in a big game, I know he was. Did he get hurt last game? I know he was a little bit banged up.
Yeah, he was in and out of that game with
Wilkins, Sealer. Let's see what I don't know how much Chubb is going to play, but I mean, there's obvious pass rush to quarterback situations where you can put him in at least. Emmanuel Ogbah, have a big game in the run defense.
Please,
come out there. And
Jaylen Phillips will get home.
Yeah, like when they're going to be running the ball, I expect we see again. Trey Flowers is done, so he was playing a lot of the run stopping minutes as well. I anticipate a little bit more Ogbah than people like. I don't think they're giving up on Emmanuel Ogbah. I think the Dolphins really like this rotation that they have. If you go back and look at the 49ers when they were winning, they had 4 solid guys that they were rotating in and out. Ingram has his moments. I think Chubb will get obviously as much snaps as you possibly can because he's ridiculous in the run game as well. I think he's top 20, right, in terms of. I think he's ranked 18th or something like that. And obviously his pressure rate is, I think, 3rd in the NFL behind only Garrett and Aaron Donald, maybe. Like absolutely ridiculous stuff. But if we stop the run from the get-go, Chicago's got no chance, even if Justin Fields has a good game. I do guarantee you, though, that Justin Fields will have a couple of really annoying third down runs because that's
my God.
Yeah. He's athletic as a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Chubb is only behind Garrett and Micah Parsons. They said, "Oh, we had one punt against Detroit. There we go." Hey,
it was Micah Parsons, not Aaron.
Correct.
The
So
only key to that game is stop the run. Really, if you stop that run and they can't get the play action going, they can't get Justin Fields rolling out, they can't get the RPO going. You're gonna make his life hell.
Yeah,
that's really the biggest thing.
So we're all on board. That's pretty much the X factors, the guys up front for sure to beat the Chicago Bears team. Last thing, we're gonna go around the room right before we wrap up. Score predictions. I want to hear everyone's predictions. Give a score, a little reason why. 4-1-6. Start us off before we get out of here.
28-17 Miami Dolphins, 4 tutties. I don't think we have to kick a field goal. I think it's going to be 3 passing touchdowns again for Tua Tagovailoa, 1 rushing touchdown. Maybe it's Jeff Wilson's first as a Miami Dolphin. And then I'm just going to say the Bears, again, like I kind of said last week, I feel like they're going to score one late. So it might actually be 28-10, 28-14. They either score a field goal or touchdown late to make it 28-17.
All right. Solid. JMV.
41-21.
Oh, shit.
I don't want to get too overzealous because I said we are going to whoop them last week and the lines came out buzzing, so I don't want to.
I actually hit on a huge Tua lay last week against Detroit. I had a custom parlay on betonline.ag. It was Tua over 350.5 yards, over 2.5 touchdowns, actually. And I forgot the other one, over 25.5 completions. And I hit on all 3 of them. So, and I'm doing a similar bet this week against Chicago, bro. 41.
Hey, don't go to betonline.ag unless they're paying us, man. No free sponsors.
Yeah, what was up with that?
All right, up with that, man.
Solid prediction. I see some people chiming in. We got Alberto Welch Jr. Shout out to him. 37-15, he says. I'm assuming he means Miami Dolphins.
Good cap.
All right.
I like the score. Anybody else going over 40 here?
Listen, we're going to go to Alex on this one. If you guys want to predict your scores, feel free to type that on the chat. Alex, score prediction.
I got 31-20 because Tua's not going to play the last 7 minutes of this game because it's not even going to be close, and neither will Tyreek. I think it'll be 31-13 for a little bit. Nice Justin Fields pity drive at the end makes it 31-20, but Dolphins win this one comfortably.
Okay, I see we got 34-16. Damn, a lot. Offense going to continue to build off that momentum. I like it. I'm a little bit more on the cautious side on this one just because every time I'm really, really excited, and I think we're going to bust the team's ass. It's kind of one of those games that are a little bit slow. I originally was going to pick 24-13, but until I see this Dolphins defense be able to shut teams down, I'm going to go ahead and give the Bears a couple extra points. So I'm going with a 24-17 Dolphins win. I hope it's more. I think it probably will be, but I'm going to play it safe here. I'm going to go with a Dolphins win, 24-17. I think Tua scores 2 to 3 touchdowns, and we get 1 field goal. Nonetheless, though, it's a Dolphins win. I got us building momentum. I see somebody else says 31-21 Miami win. And that's all we can ask for, man. I mean, it's a great time to be a Dolphins fan. The Dolphins fans are excited right now, and Chris Grier has gave you a team to be happy about, to root for, and a team that's willing to contend and go all in for this year and years to come, adding a 26-year-old Bradley Chubb. But I want to give a special shout out to everyone in here that joined us today. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate those like buttons. Hit that like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. And catch us here Sunday following our Dolphins win against the Bears. Clip that if you want to. Following our Dolphins win against the Bears for our post-game show right here at the Basement Sports Network. Catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Play that music.
Touchdown, Miami!
My bad. I wanted to go 45, but the vibes were just